The end of the year is just around the corner, and I thought I'll take this time to reflect on some of my learning and my progress. My name is Khalid, and I have been actively learning how to draw, and I wanted to take this time to show you some of my drawings from January all the way to today, and also reflect back on the year and share with you some of the thoughts and some of the learnings that I've had in the past year. So last year I set some goals for myself, and I wanted to take learning art or learning drawing very seriously. So I decided to write down some of my goals, and then now I can look back and see how I did. So the biggest goal that I had was to put in about 450 hours of drawing for the year. So that makes it about 8 to 9 hours a week. And knowing that I have this goal kept me going. And I'm happy to say that I exceeded and met this goal, and I did around 500 hours of drawing this year. So the first thing that I learned is my attitude towards learning. So just drawing and just drawing anything that I like doesn't really mean that I'm learning and improving. So I needed to make time to learn, make sure I dedicate some time to learning some skills and developing some skills, and have some structure to my learning. So I set some goals that on what I wanted to learn. For example, I wanted to focus on drawing portraits and figure drawing. So whenever I wanted to study, I wanted to make sure I spend time to try and focus on those things. Although I do enjoy drawing, I wanted to make sure that I don't just draw things for fun and things that I like or things that I'm comfortable with, but also have a very good attitude towards learning, and that learning takes time, and make sure that I spend time on learning. The second thing that I learned this year is almost the opposite of the first one. The first one I said you got to make sure you put time to learn and dedicate time and be serious about learning. The second one is resting, and resting to avoid burnout. So at the beginning of the year, I had all these goals set up for myself. So I really started working hard on them and didn't really take much breaks. But sure enough and fast enough, I ended up burning out, and I went a week or two where I only did 2 hours of drawing instead of my goal of 8 or 9 hours that I wanted to do. So what I learned is that I also need to be mindful to make some time to rest in order to avoid burnout. So what I learned is that resting is almost as important as working hard and learning, so that you don't burn out and you're always able to continue on going. And you really want to develop a habit rather than work really hard for a weekend and then not draw for 2 weeks. So you want to rest, make sure you put the time to rest so that you will be able to work harder and continue to work hard every day and learn faster and better. The third thing that I learned was don't wait, just start and just do. This was an interesting one for me because I had this idea in my head that I wanted to start a YouTube channel, for example, but I always thought that I need to reach a certain level. I need to be at a certain level of skill or develop a certain amount of skill in my art in order to open up my YouTube channel, or in order to get better, or in order to post on social media, or anything like that. But as the time was going by and as I was improving and reflecting back, I realized that I probably will never feel that it's good enough to start the YouTube channel. At what point do I say now is the time that I can start opening up my YouTube channel? So I learned and decided that there's no better time than now. So whatever I've been thinking or trying to do, I decided that I can start doing it now. And that is how I decided to open up this YouTube channel, and I thought I will learn and develop the skills along the way. The next thing I want to talk about, or it's part of what I've learned, is some of the technical skills. So as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to focus more on portrait drawings and figure drawings. So I have been studying how to draw the head from the different angles and the proportions and the constructions and so on. After a couple months of doing portraits, I decided to focus on figure drawings and anatomy, and I tried to do about 100 figure drawing studies. My anatomy is still not that great and still developing that skill, but I was very happy and proud of how much I've improved and I have learned in the past year when it comes to portrait and figure drawings. And I think I want to continue this and focus more on anatomy this upcoming year and hopefully develop that skill more. So these were the four main things that I wanted to talk about that I've learned in the last year when I decided to take learning art seriously and really put in the time and effort into it. And for the upcoming year, I want to continue my learning and put the same amount, 500 hours, into my art. And I also wanted to take this YouTube channel and more seriously and spend more time into it so that I can share my experience with you all here. And if you want to follow my journey and see how my art develops over the next year, and hopefully I'll be able to inspire and help you with your journey, please subscribe and see you in the next video.